Molly Picklum, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling post World Champs? I mean, I'm gonna fly straight into this thing. I feel like
it's so true.
We're a couple months since winning the world title.
Yeah.
How's life been since getting the big dub?
I know. I actually forgot. I kind of forget because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And then around the beaches, I can't remember when people froth out, and then I don't know. It's cool. I definitely have moments constantly of wow, I did that, and still fathoming it.
Yeah.
I think it comes in just rare moments. I still am fathoming kind of what it is, because I look at, say, Katie Simmers or Steph and Kelly, all the Mick, all these people that have won it, and I'm just like, whoa, and they haven't won it once. They won it 8 times or 11 times. I'm just like, wow, that is. I'm starting to get appreciation for it as time goes on.
Sure.
So right now, I still don't think I fathom really what I did.
But even randomly, even being at the pickleball courts this morning, just for those who are listening, we went and played a bit of pickleball before
exactly.
rolling into the podcast. But it's even just random crew would be like, oh, Mol, and then Safi was just like, yeah, it's our friend, world champion. So there must be some little part where it's like, oh, you actually do have to pinch yourself. This is actually something that I did accomplish.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty weird. I just think of the people that have done it, or actually winning the amount of events that I'd won or finaled in, and actually what that means to me. To be a world champion, I went around the world and surfed in all these different locations and fought with the best in the world consistently over 10 events or 12 events. And won. It's crazy, because honestly, to win one event is such a dream as a surfer, because it is so hard. And there's so many challenges that come with each location.
Yeah.
So then to be not only did I win a couple of events at each location, whoa, I won the year.
Yeah.
Which just feels it's just such a trip, because so much goes into each individual event.
Really?
Because it's such different preparation and different locations, equipment, there's a lot of differences everywhere we go in the world.
Zoom out for me, 12 months before winning the comp it was September? It was
September
last year.
Fiji.
I heard on a recent interview or some video that you put a plan in place 12 months out, whether that was fitness, diet, your team, mindset, coaching. You put a plan in place.
Yeah.
Can you run me through the plan of how to win a world title for 12 months out from your point of view?
Yeah.
12 months prior, what does that look like? Do you sit down with your coaches? Is it something internally that you do? How does that look?
Yeah. It's definitely it's in different chunks. I think I'm going to zoom right out to kind of throw a bit of context to the story, because I qualified for the tour. Obviously, dream tour, I was just rookie and soaking it all in. And over 3 years, I eventually got into the final 5, which was world title contention. And I always just kept losing momentum through the middle of the year, and I really struggled to fathom a full year's effort.
Yeah.
So then, fortunately, I have my managers are friends with Ben Crow, and even listening to your pod and all the podcasts of just mind, life, guru, And I started to just take a step back and go, okay, if I really want this, let's see what it takes. It entails a full year of 100% dedication and event wins in and out. I don't know. So then I started to, I guess, chip away at the whole year rather than just go, okay, I'm just going to take it event by event.
So you don't just zoom in on little chunks. You kind of zoomed out and you looked at it from a whole year point of view.
Because I have to achieve this whole year. I have to do well the whole year, not just here, you know? And I think my other years, I'll just take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Which was perfect, honestly, for a rookie, because then you're not looking at the big mountain that you got to climb. You're just just do little bits at a time. It seems a little bit, I don't know, more inviting maybe. But then I was no, I want this whole thing now.
Yeah.
And I definitely sat down. It was just in the off season, away from competition. What do I want? What am I scared of? What are potential distractions, challenges? Just trying to, I guess, front load as much as I could for the year to just see what I'd be facing.
Do you think it's important to identify what you're scared of and what the challenges are?
Yeah, for me. I think everybody's different, but I would say it's a really good strategy to go ahead and front load as much as you can.
What were your biggest challenges, or what were you scared of?
I think honestly I was scared that I didn't know if I truly believed that I could do it. And I think, I just remember being like, there was so much to take in. Like life just was like, it's so overwhelming for me because I'm just like, there's so much life, so much good.
Yeah.
And then like, I want so much out of it. So like, how do I go and get that kind of? And I think I was just like, I don't know, just, it was overwhelming. Whether it was like actually scared. But then when I sat down and was like, had to actually start owning, like, I want to win and I want the world title. I was like, whoa, like, I actually had to sit with myself for a few days to like answer that question whether I believe I could and convince myself whether I actually could, because I guess I hadn't thought to the fine detail of what that entails of like actually having my own back, loving my own surfing, like showing up for myself, like just a lot of self kind of growth, I guess, and like loving yourself in a way.
Well,
but like I'm not that kind of person. Like I'm just like, go and get after it and see what happens. Like leave myself behind, kind of.
Well, you give off like a very like fun, playful nature, right? Like that's. I'm sure anyone who knows you or follows you like gets that vibe from you, right?
Yeah.
But then like. It is really interesting and it's actually really inspiring to sit back in our chair and look at it from the outside looking in, or even more so having this more of an intimate conversation. Was like, no, like I actually really had to have a hard conversation with myself in order to understand like what I really want to get to. And it's so cool that you sat down and you're like, okay, well, is this something that I really want? And do I actually have the belief to be able to do that? Yeah.
And I remember like I sat with it for a few days and I had a few conversations with Crowie and a lot of conversations, and also like I've been so lucky in my life of like the people I've been able to look up to and talk to and can just converse with about these things. And I remember like he'll say, you know, prompt me on a few things, and then I'll just say like I'm not there yet, you know, because I really did have to sit there for a while and just like sit on that one question of like, do I believe I can be a world champion, or like, do I believe I can do it? And I just like just was toying with that idea, and it took a while for me to go, I actually admit that I want it, because I can't admit something that I want if I don't believe I can get it, you know? It's kind of like, well, I don't know if I'm there yet. And my managers and stuff were saying like, when's the year that we're going for this? And I was like, what do you mean? Like I'm going for it every year. I'm trying my best. Like what? But then it is, I think, a distinct difference of when you're like, now. Because that's when you actually choose to have your own back and believe and just like go for it.
So you sit down, you have the conversation with yourself that this is something that I really want. This is something that I actually believe in.
Yeah.
When was there an actual moment where you were like, I actually believe that I can do this? Or did you have to kind of like get a few wins on the board in order to have that belief? Because
it's a good question.
What I'm thinking of it from like people who are listening to this conversation who are like, I'm sure there's going to be a few golden nuggets in here that people are going to want to take away. And I'm sure that they've got their big dream that they want to get to. And so they're going to think, what can I take away from here? So it's like, do I need to get confidence on the board? It's like, do I need to get a few little wins on the board before I can have that belief that I can do it? Or is it something innately in us to believe, nah, I've got the plan in place. Like I know what I need to do.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of both. Okay. It's the dance between, it's that like fine line. Cause I don't think like it starts with inner belief of, I mean, you step into the game. Like you're like, I'm choosing in. So if I'm choosing in, I'm not just going to come in and think I'm not going to win, you know? So it starts with a little bit of belief, but I think it definitely, what follows that is the constant, I think that question of like, do I believe I can win, is the anchor point for the rest of your year, because then you're just looking out for things of why I believe I can win. Okay. You know, and I think event wins or just moments, maybe it's the way you, whatever, any moments you're picking up through the season. And it definitely, like, it was a work in progress. It wasn't just like one after I just chose and just went, yeah, I choose to believe. It didn't work like that. It was like way more like.
Well, it sounds so easy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because then even before Fiji, I had to have this same conversation with myself of like, because it was such a weird thing of like, this is actually it. Tomorrow is the day that you either become the world champion or you don't. And you're sitting with this like reality of like, oh my God, my life changes tomorrow. Like technically, as much as like you try and tell yourself your life doesn't change, but your life changes tomorrow or like you're absolutely devastated. Like at the end of the day, it's make or break, it feels like. And so I still had to sit there again. I had got all the runs and all the belief behind me the whole year, but still, there's still that, like, is it going to happen? Is it not?
I do want to get to Fiji. Before we do get to Fiji, was there any hurdles or speed bumps along the way where you had that self-doubt throughout the year where it's like, oh, this is actually a really gnarly thing? Like, all my idols did something, like all my idols like had this world title badge, right? Was there any times that you kind of had the self-doubt where you could overcome that? Was there, and there might not be. I might be reaching.
No. I feel like for sure, I think there's always, every single time you enter like a like there's a chance of loss. Yeah. There's always doubt of like, I don't know, we're like humans, and I think we naturally just completely look at our weaknesses the moment you kind of feel like there's a threat, and every time you put on a rasher, you like potentially could get beat. So you're like straight to the weakness, which can create self-doubt. Like, I've been at events and I think half the tour is surfing better than me or whatever, but I've got to find the belief somewhere and be like, I still believe I can beat you. Yeah. So definitely there was doubt always, but I'm such a believer that anything can happen. Yeah. And I think I really believe right until the end. Like, you're not going to tell me I'm not a world champion until the last hooter, then the last heat blows, you know? And that's because at the end of the day, that's logic. Like, as much emotion and anything in there, I try and strip it back and go, but it's not the truth yet, you know? And I think it's hard at times when you're like telling the narratives rolling around your head, but for the most part, I'm just like, it's not over.
Do you reckon you've always been like a big dreamer?
Yeah, I think I'm like, I love the fun and like the challenge. Yeah. Like, even when we're playing pickleball and stuff, I get right into it. I love it, you know?
You've got that competitive little dog in you.
and I think like in life, that's just so fun, like for everything. So yeah, I don't typically think that big though, I guess. Like, I never sat down and was like, oh, I want to be a world champion surfer. And then that's the thing that got me into surfing. I just like, surfing was at the beach. I was like, I mean, you know what it's like when you're young, right? Your parents just put you in all the sports because we just got crazy energy and they're like, please put that somewhere healthy and safe.
Burn some energy here.
Yeah. So I did like all the sports as a kid, and then after, I don't know, surfing was just like a fun hobby on the weekend, and I was playing touch football. Like, both of those two sports were taking my time, and then I was like, okay, surfing, let's do that. And it is an interesting story because I think a lot of surfers are like, I want to be a pro surfer. So they start surfing and then they just like follow it. But I wasn't like that. I didn't follow the sport. I don't know much of the sport until like obviously the last few, like 5 years. But
interesting.
Yeah, I never watched it until I was probably 14 or 15.
Interesting.
And then I competed then.
Do you think it's good for young kids to have like a variety of sports, like playing a variety of sports before, like whether in their like, you know, youth, teens, being important?
For sure, I reckon. And honestly, this is like a tip for all kids out there, if any is listening here, or parents. I swear it makes life so much more fun when you're more versatile through sports. Because I can turn up and I can play tennis. I can turn up and I can hit a golf ball. I'm not good.
I've seen you hit a golf ball and like
I can hit a golf ball and then I can surf, I can swim, like, and life's so fun. Like, I'm such like like I love being active and doing everything.
You're saying you bring a pickleball racket with you everywhere you go?
I bring the paddle like everywhere just in case someone wants to play pickleball. Like, take that on tour at times. I'm taking one club, just have like a chipping contest in the sand, you know, on the beach.
I was telling you this morning, I was just like, oh, like, do you play pickleball often? You're like, oh, no, not really. I mean, I bring a paddle like everywhere I go. I was like, yeah, you fucking play a fair bit.
I have the intention of playing a lot, but the surfing, the training, the commitment kind of doesn't let me get on the court that much. But
I think it's super important, like, doing a variety of sports. Like, we were the same. Like, we did like surf club, like nippers growing up, like random like water polo, swimming, like surfing a little bit. And then there was like rugby league and footy. And then you get to the point where you feel like 13, 14, 15, like, I have to make a decision here. Like, what do I want to do? Because you only have so many like hours in the day.
It's so true.
But it's also a good chance to like see what you're good at. As well. Were you naturally good straight out of the gate, or were you one of those athletes that like kind of had to like really work hard? Because you know what I mean? These are like typically two athletes that are like naturally gifted versus like probably someone like me that wasn't that talented but just had
you
to
worked
grind
hard
away.
though. Yeah, you found a way.
Yeah.
I mean, also how fun is like being a kid doing all the sports.
Best.
And then I do want to talk on the point because it's funny. I remember my mum gave me that fork in the road moment of like, you've got to pick which sport, and I was like, you bitch. I was like, as if you're going to make me pick one.
So it was touch or
surfing. Because it was like crossing over, you know. Mum was like, you're letting down the team if you're not turning up to training and you want to surf. Like, you got to pick one, which in hindsight, I'm looking like, oh, good play, mum, you know? Like, but at the time I was like, what? As if I've got to pick one. But it's so true. Like 13, 14 is still so young to just pick one sport.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of the era where you got to zone into one sport, like around that age, I'd say. But yeah, I pick things up quite naturally.
Yeah.
But I think it's because I was always around all different sports and yeah, I pick it up naturally, but I will funnily say surfing was the hardest one for me.
Really?
And I see, say, like Katie Simmers and Steph Gilmore, they have a natural touch with the ocean and like you can just see it's very natural. For me, it's more trained than it came natural for me.
Interesting.
And I remember that feeling as a kid that surfing challenged me the most, which is what drew me to it and still draws me to it. So I don't know. They like, cause I'm bad at it. I'm like, even still, like I feel like I know I'm a good surfer, but I'm not that good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have so many things I want to improve on because I just see the ones that are so naturally gifted in the ocean and they just like dance with the waves so much better than me.
I think there is something about having a challenge, like a really big challenge that you want to go after. I imagine like world title is probably like the obvious one, but then even more intricate, more intimate challenges within like your own surfing, whether it's like a certain style, a certain trick, a certain wave, like conquering a certain thing, whether it's like even for us everyday crew, whether it's like a 10K, half marathon, certain amount of like buying a house. Like I think having like a little challenge there, that feeling of being able to conquer that challenge or actually win it and put the tick, like you've written it down on the whiteboard or in your journal and then actually ticking it off, there's got to be something so fulfilling.
How satisfying is that?
Oh my God. I had a
You're doing so much too, so you're just ticking things off left, right and centre.
I'm definitely not. There was we've been moving around a lot last year and this year.
Yeah.
And bouncing from a few different places. But I found my whiteboard that I wrote down like all my goals on the year prior, but it was in the cupboard. It was in the cupboard for like 9-10 months. And then I pulled it out and I was like, oh, I got to tick off all these little things. It was like do my first Ironman. It was like run a marathon. It was step into the podcast full time, bring on a first employee. So it was all these like really fun little things, but I got to tick them off. And I was like, that feeling of being like, oh, you actually write them down and then like accomplishing it must be so satisfying.
Yeah, it is. And you know, how many did you tick off? You know what I mean?
I got a couple in there.
Yeah.
I got a couple in there. When it comes to like your goals, I know we talked about like you planning out the year. Are you very like goal focused? Like do you like how do you operate with that? Is it something you write down, something you talk to your team about? How do you navigate your goals?
Yeah. I mean, even when you were speaking then on all the challenges and things, I was thinking it is a goal. Like you had a goal to get a first employee or whatever, run the first marathon. And it's a goal, and I think that is, for me, goals and the challenges is my biggest anchor in life. Yeah. And maybe that is it is for everyone.
Yeah.
It's just like plotting something a little further ahead and finding a way to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I feel like the goal things kind of come as I've gotten older. Because I think as a kid, I was just like, I just want to try and be better at everything and do everything. As now I'm like, hey, can't do everything. Yeah. I can't do it all. So I got to pick and choose. And I just pick like, of course, okay, it's a world title or a heat, whatever it is, wherever you're at. But then I kind of do the finer goals of like the smaller ones of something in my surfing or in relationships or a person like about me. But I'm constantly like, it just feels like a game to me. Like I feel like I'm in some sort of a simulator just trying to be better every day. Yeah. And I think probably it's my phase of life, like in a professional, high striving environment at the moment. But I'm just like fully just, like I just like seek out any opportunity to get better, which it comes with like some great things, but there's a lot of like hard moments with that too.
Do you reckon you're bit like spiritual at all? Like, do you believe like everything kind of happens for a reason?
Yeah, I reckon for sure. And it's funny, like I'm not religious, but I'd say I'm more spiritual. Like, and I think when you're digging the depths of like, you know, digging deep to get somewhere, I think you end up scratching into the spiritual or like just deep into life. And I think spiritual's a bit deeper into life.
Why do you think that?
Well, because you're just like striving for excellence. Like you just want more. You want to go deeper. You want to go deeper in your career. You want to go deeper as a person. It kind of comes hand in hand to me.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I'm just on goals and ticking goals off. I'd love to zoom in on Fiji and the win. You said there were a few challenges along the way. You've built the team.
Yeah.
You're at that point where the day before life is going to change. It could change.
For sure.
Run me through what the day looked like. Where were you at in terms of like other competitors? Like, was it a close one? Did it come down to the very last heat? Like, what did it look like?
Well, the actual day itself, we were there on the island for 10 days and it hadn't run, and there was no waves. So we actually like didn't have much practice or anything. It was just, we had the opening ceremony at the start of the window of when it opened, and then we didn't it was 10 days of no real surfing. And then the comp ran. Yeah. And then so the day, how it unfolded for me, I went out for my early surf, came back, had breakfast, and then I just like geared up for my heat. Yeah. But I'd done a lot of work within those 10 days to make sure that on the day it was just process. Like it was literally just, I do this, I eat that, I go, pack my boards, get on it was very like robot mode to just try and keep it as simple as possible. But I think one thing of like going to the make or break feeling, I faced, like I sat there and was like, okay, if I came to terms with if I lost, and I came to terms with that, so then I could free myself for the possibilities of what could unfold on the day. Because I was just like, I have to, otherwise I'm going to be held by like the uncertainty of if that happens. So I looked at it square on in the face and was like, I'm not scared of you anymore, let's go.
Really?
So then on the day I was free, I was like, let's go. Oh yeah, and then the day, it was pretty, I actually didn't know. Some people call bluff on like that I didn't know, but I didn't realise if I'd won the first heat, I'd won. I just forgot. Like I just didn't realise. So for those that don't know, like WSL, they take us to Fiji, the top 5 surfers in the world, to fight out for the world title. And then it's a best of 3, I thought. But for the number 1 in the world, they changed it to make it a little bit more fair because we've had such a good season that if you win the first heat, you're the world champion. No need to surf anymore. But if you lose the first heat, you then have to win the best out of 3. And classic Molly style, I just went out there and just got too excited. And I don't know. I probably wasn't competitively as smart as I should have been and lost the first heat. And I think like I get a lot of questions of like, oh, what did you do, to change the mindset? Because the second heat I came out swinging, like swinging it looks like. But for me, I never changed gears. I was just like, what I'd planned to do in that first heat, I didn't execute. So nothing changed. I came to the channel and like my coach and team and whatever there, and I was just like, we didn't exchange that many words because it was kind of like, well, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. So I just said, don't worry, guys. Like, let me just start. Like, let me feel like I've started and I've done my job a little bit, and then we'll go from there. So then I went back out there and then did my job, and my job was good. Like, I did a good job.
100%.
Yeah.
Tell me the feeling. Like, what does it feel like to have worked for 10 plus years to get to the point where you're like, oh, I'm now like world champion?
Yeah.
Like, tell me the feeling.
It was, I just screamed because I was just like this. Yeah, it's so mixed emotions, I think, that I was just like expelling everything in my body. It's just the best. Like, it's just such a trip because I think for me, it was like a goal that I nearly didn't think was achievable. It was just like a great anchor that brought me lots of good times and like just a good, healthy goal that would like, I don't know, create these great habits in my life. I kind of didn't think of the actual moment of like grabbing and being a winner. But I mean, I just was like, I just don't even get it. Like, whoa, it's crazy. And in that moment, I just like wanted to just see my team and like go, oh my gosh, like we did it. It's achieved. Like it's actually possible. Like what? We literally did it. I remember just feeling like that. Like,
it's pretty cool that you've got like a really cool team in your corner because it's like you guys did it together. Like, yes, it's an individual sport, but I love the way you say it's like, I just wanted to get back to see my team because it felt like a very team environment, right?
Yeah, definitely. And like 3 minutes before the heat ended, I actually had like a real flicker of everything I'd ever been through kind of in surfing and just like my life of surfing kind of like all flicker through like all these moments just like quickly through my brain. Then I was like, wait, like.
What do you mean?
Just like, I don't know, just like, oh my God, had the moment where it felt like time stopped and it was just like, everything's led to this point right now. Like, and I've never had that feeling of like everything I've ever done has been for this moment right now.
Oh,
and it was just like the weirdest, like, whoa, like, and then it was literally like, felt like 3 seconds it probably lasted of just like, what?
Yeah.
And like, you just kind of like, you know, everything you've ever been through, your whole journey of like highs, lows, people, all the different connections and things and just like, whoa.
Does anything change since winning a world title? You said that like, oh, my life is going to change after winning a world title. What's the reality?
I'm still learning the reality, but definitely there's a shift because for me personally, well, I guess the surface level reality is like you get spun into 2 months of like PR tour and craziness, which was like sick. I loved sharing it and like loved it, but was happy when that was over and I could just be a normal human. And then after now, I just like back to square one, kind of like training, surfing, building for the year.
Yeah.
But then as I don't know. Like, I think the pressure, the monkey's off the back, I think, a little bit. And doing it so early on in my career is nice because I now feel like I have a freedom to just, like, keep changing the way I want to do it, maybe. Or, like, just open any way possible that I want to do it. It's not like I think when you feel like you're kind of getting results and you haven't won a world title yet, you probably don't steer too far from it, but you have the freedom to just try whatever now and do it anyway. Like whatever makes my heart sing, go for it.
That's so cool because I was wondering like after winning like the pinnacle like of what we want to get to since we're a little grown, right?
Yeah.
It's like I wonder if there is a pressure to do it again or if like you mentioned the pressure's kind of off, like I got what I wanted to, now I can actually go where I want to go.
Yeah.
I was curious around that.
I definitely have like first time fluke, like go prove it again.
Yeah.
But that's just like the wolf in you that's like, you know, you can listen to one or the other and I just choose like, I believe I did it.
Yeah, I love that.
You know.
With such a high, is there any like come down after being on such a cloud nine and you know, doing the media tour and you know, everyone's frothing and your friends are excited, your phone probably blew up like it's never blown up before.
Yeah.
Is there any come down that comes with that?
I think like naturally, like the actual fatigue and stuff for sure, but I never bought into the hype. So it was never like I was left kind of chasing it or whatever. I kind of just saw it for what it was and never like, it never fed me as a person, you know? I was just like, okay, that stuff I understand. Like everyone's spreading their love, but then the ones, my intimate ones, my loved ones are the ones that like, when it all falls away, they're still there. And that's all I focus on. So there wasn't like checking my phone, hoping I still get messages or something. There was no like come down like that. It was just like I just kind of let it all happen how it was meant to happen.
It's really nice. It just shows like how important it is to have like a good crew around you,
Definitely.
Right? Because I like you hear so many people like winning a world title or winning a comp or winning a grand final in like the end up footy space. It's like it is such a high, something that you work to for so long. It's like off the back of it, it's like, oh, well, what do I do now? Like what's next? I've been
and then they can probably only relate to the ones in their team who were on the high with them.
For sure.
But that's why I think it was really cool that I was able to like, I think that's probably why I instinctively brought a lot of people with me and like shared it a lot. Cause then it was kind of like, we're all in it together. It's not just me. So then, I don't know, then when I'm trying to relate to people or the experience, there's many people that were kind of there and shared it.
Do you typically do that? Have a big crew with you traveling around?
I don't have like a big crew. I just like have a coach to do the professional needs and all that sort of stuff. And then I have invested in like having a friend with me just to make it fun because we do spend so much time on the road.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like so long. But a friend just like keeps a perspective of like who I am at heart, you know? And then I have like definitely two sides. Like I have me as a person and then me as a professional like surfer's like different.
How are they different?
Well, I just think personally, I really value being like soft and approachable and just like less rigid. But I think being a professional and striving for greatness, I'm quite like a hard ass kind of like, because I'm critical of myself. You're critical of like your game or your sport. So it's just like two different mindsets. Like I see it leak over into the other one, and I'm not overly like proud of that when I'm super critical of my loved ones. It's because I care so much, but it's like I don't like, you don't need to be so critical. That side's only for like me and my professional side, kind of.
Give me an example.
Just like anything, like if I'm doing something a certain way, I like you try and do it as efficient and as good as you can, because that's whatever. So if I even like take a bin out a certain way or tie it with whatever, I'm like, oh, like, that's not it. You know? Like, and it's like, who cares? It's like the bin's going to go there, or like, I don't actually care, but I can feel that like urge, and I stop it because I'm like, that's not the person I want to be.
That's really interesting that you look at it from like two different landscapes, or of like two different people, like even like stepping into a character. Almost like, that's so interesting.
It is, because I just like don't like some of the traits, like the selfishness that I think being a professional athlete or being very career focused can be as like a person. Like I want to be able to, I'm someone that would do anything for my friends and loved ones, but I just like don't have the energy and time at the moment. Like it's not my time to play that role. Yeah. And when I can, I definitely do, but I don't know. I just wish I could kind of be that person more, but I don't know. I'm learning. I think it's not as different. Like I probably can be more soft, but I'm like too scared to let it go, because I know like being super committed and like determined and whatever has gotten me some greatness in my career, you know?
It's so interesting because you look at like all the strengths that come from being the professional, and like you said, like all the success that comes from it, but then like who you are actually as a person is just like so beautiful. And it's probably why like your friends and your family and everyone wants to hang out with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when I was playing footy, very much similar two different personas, right? Like footy persona, which was like actually super aggro, super aggressive.
Yeah, which you're not that guy.
Which is not me at all. Like I remember mates who would be in other teams, they'd be like, is Keeg sweet? Like what's this guy's deal? Like he's a grub, like, and they're like, nah, like it's not him at all. Yeah. And so now that I'm like obviously a couple years out of footy, I was like, well, I really love being in, same thing, playful nature, very soft. I'm actually quite an emotional person that I'm recently starting to figure out. Yeah. And but then being able to lean on those strengths of like really hard work, discipline, like I think that stuff is important, and you can take those strengths into like that next phase of life, or even to other areas of life, whether that's in like sponsorship or doing something that you really love. Like I'm sure like your golf and your pickleball and your tennis, all your outside stuff. So I think it is important to be able to take bits and pieces from both. Yeah,
for sure. And like, it's true, because I feel like now professionally it's asking a lot of me, but then you can like be inspired off your personal side of being a bit softer, which I kind of did a little bit even last year, of like, I'm not going to be so like looking out for threats and like trying to, I don't know, use that as a motivation to get better. Just I was kind of like, okay, the softer version of that's just be inspired and I don't know, be a bit like not so critical on myself, actually like pat myself on the back at times and go, it's all right, like here's where you're actually at, and that's okay, because we know what you've been through. We can't compare to like the rest of the people.
It's also like, I imagine if you're in that playful nature, you're probably going to be a lot more like in the moment, a lot more present, and like really taking in like the fun and happiness of actually like winning a world title or winning a comp or anything like that.
For sure.
Found that when you're in that very determined, focused, like what's next mentality, you can kind of like skip over that and not actually really taking the time to reflect and saying like, oh, we actually did something really cool. Yeah,
which you see in so many athletes, like they, and I actually think I'm not that far gone, you know what I mean? Like I do have a pretty good balance where I enjoy the process and the journey there, and then stop there for a minute and, you know, and be like, oh, that's sick. And then continue on, because I definitely have seen athletes where they just keep like nothing's ever enough, and they come from not enoughness, and I think that's what fuels their, I don't know, day in, day out efforts. And I think it's just like a really toxic place to be in, because I don't know, when's enough?
There's actually a book on this bookshelf just behind you,
Am I
actually.
gonna steal a book?
No, you can if you like. It's a book. There's a green book behind you called "How Much Is Enough," and it's very much like it's very much
yeah, I see it.
that exact same conversation around like how much is enough? Like at what point do you stop striving and constantly wanting more? And it actually is cool because it actually puts like a dollar figure of like the life that you want to make. So
Yeah.
it is interesting, but not so much from a financial point of view, but also from I guess like
Just your personal like bank, if you're putting your money to it, or like your personal cup.
What's priorities?
Yeah.
Like where are your priorities? Is it like
Exactly.
having a friend to come with you on tour? Is it spending more time with your like family members? Is it like, okay, like I want to build a really successful business,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to sacrifice like my loved ones and being like a dickhead around like for like in order to get that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think what is enough is so hard when you're like pushing for the top pinnacle level.
Yeah.
Because you're like I have two really switches in me, and I think like a little bit it scares me, but the reason it doesn't is because I really value the ones around me and I trust them that they'll never let me go too far.
Yeah.
And I trust myself that someone can have an honest conversation with me, and I'll always be open to hear. But it's like those switches is exactly that. Like I could just go blackout mode and just go for it and go, you know what, there's a job to be done and I'm going to do that job and leave everything behind. But I choose consciously, like I don't want to be that person. I want to still be a person and have friends and like put in my time into all my relationships that I value so that I have them, you know, because they are so giving and like giving back. But I'm just someone that like, I don't know, like if that's the challenge, I'll do it.
Is it tricky to balance friendships and relationships while traveling so much on tour?
Yeah, but I think the right ones are just like my friends understand so much. Like they're so understanding that I come and go and they update me. Like the right ones, you know what it's like. They love you for what you're doing and who you are and all of the above.
Yeah, it's so cool that you can like go do what you do and then come back home and
it's literally the best.
Catch up with mates, go play some pickleball in the morning, surf for fun. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's the best feeling. Like sometimes too, I text like one of my friends. I won't message you for like, I don't know, 3 months. Like I'll be away and then I'll literally just say like, okay, we just say to each other, okay, 3 updates, and you like got to say like whatever's happening. You know, you got to update them on 3 different things.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest like conversation starter for us. And every single time we're both like, oh my God, we're the same people, but just doing different things. Like she studies and is like really high in her uni degree and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just funny, like I can not message any of my friends and then come home and it be all normal and like, you know, no time's passed.
What would be your 3 updates right now? If you're gonna link with a friend, just be like, 3 updates.
I was in Hawaii, so when I texted her, I was like, oh, just like trying to work on my surfing, you know, and training, like that stuff was pretty simple, just ticking along. And I think the other one was just like, I'm pretty fatigued. Like I wish I was potentially like had more energy to give because I want to give right now, but I was pretty tired. So I was like, that's like an update. And then my other thing was just like how much life was just tripping me out of just like sometimes I just go down the thing of like, what even is life? Like, what am I doing? Just because we do have a choice and every day we have a choice of like who we're being or I don't know, like sometimes I like just like geek out of like what.
It's cool that you like throw in a bit of like vulnerability. In there as well.
Yeah.
Does that?
I can't hide it because it's so real. Like if I feel it, then I'm like, how do you hide that?
But that's really beautiful that
Like
you can say it, because I imagine like a lot of athletes, or even like I know like men typically do it, but like a lot of athletes can be very not narrow-minded, but can be very focused and probably not share those vulnerabilities. But it seems that you and your friends are very open with having like that type of conversation.
For sure. I just think I found like it's isolating to not be, because I think a lot of people are experiencing things that I may struggle with, or like everyone has similar experiences. And I guess I was lucky probably early on when I opened up. I realized that, they kind of agreed. So it's like, what do you call that when they say double the fun and share the pain, or divide the pain or something?
I heard the one that was like a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's that gist. And I think early on I felt that. Like I felt like when I shared something and heard someone else, I was like, everyone's got their shit going on. So you're not like special if you have it. And also it's never like one thing Crowy always says too, he's like, it's never as bad as it seems, never as good as it seems. So my whole thing's like, there's more colour in this.
Yeah.
Don't react to it. It's all good. Like, but I will say I'm in a sport that they can't utilise my vulnerabilities because we're versing the ocean.
Yeah.
Because I do think a little bit if I was in a different sport, I wouldn't be so vulnerable. Like, I don't know, talking about an injury, then I don't know if they say you got a sore arm or whatever, then someone's going to come hit you up right on that spot.
Sure.
But for me, it's like they can't touch me.
Has there been any times where it's been really hard? It's been a challenge where you didn't think you would overcome, but then you could overcome it?
I think one was when I got cut off tour. I felt like my whole purpose was like I was going straight and then it just went bang, my path went left.
2022, Margaret River?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I reckon it was then. Yeah, it was 2022 mugs and I just, worked my whole life to get to that point and I did well. I got on tour and I was like, this is the dream. And then after 5 events, like half a season, it was like, nah, you weren't good enough, get off. And then I was like, oh my God, like it's physically hard, mentally hard because also then I've done half a season, but now I've got to go back and start the tour below and start a whole new season, which is like, I've already feel like I've done half a season, yet nothing counts anymore. And I think that was a really dark, probably one of my darkest times because I don't know, it was just like such a shock. Like I felt proud of myself and like I felt like my performances were good, but I was like thrown to the curb. And I was just like, oh, that's heavy. And to find the motivation and just like I had to dig really deep to like show up just daily and just try my best. And I think like that's too when I probably went through a bit of the burnout thing of like I'm over it, but then having the pressure because I want to get back. It was just like, it just like keeps going kind of like when the sport is actually demanding, like I'm at an event, but I don't want to surf, but like I have to because that's also like, it's just like the conflict of priorities of like literally when you like mental health or like just I'm tired, I'm over it versus like your goals and those priorities just like at war.
Tell me what it looked like. You said like it was probably like one of the hardest times in your career. Like what does that look like? Like what are the conversations that come up like naturally in your head when you have to win margs in order to go through to the next round? Otherwise you're going back to start a whole nother competition again. What are the internal conversations that pop up? I think
similar to Fiji, it's like look at the possibility of winning, losing, face the losing one. And I honestly though, in that time, I actually didn't even look at the losing. I was just like, it's not true yet because it's not. Like I'm just head down, I'm going. Like I'm going to re-qualify, I'm doing this until I'm not. And then I made quarters or something and I'd beaten people that I'd never beaten and had these excellent performances. Then lost in the semis, I think, and then I like got cut and I was like, what? I feel like I'm killing it. Like for myself, I felt like I was doing good. And then, but I will talk on when I got to the next event. It was just like a blur. So the first 2 events, you would just kind of...
On the Challenger Series?
Yeah. You would just like when the season... Because you literally catch a flight and go straight there to try and kind of make your heat. It's a week later.
Whoa.
So there's not much turnaround time and it was kind of good the first 2 events because it was just a blur. It was so quick and I was just like numb. Like I don't know what I'm doing, but just whatever. But then once I started to realize and fathom what I'm in for and what's ahead and where I'm at and how I really feel, like once I started to actually digest what was going on, then it was tough because I was like, this isn't matching. Like the whole like, I don't want to be exactly where I am. It was like the opposite. I was like, nah, I don't want to be.
What's the hardest thing about that? Is it the fatigue? You mentioned burnout, like starting it all over again. What's the hardest part of that deal?
I think hating something that you love, and I think, or turning sour on something that you actually love. Like, I don't know, I think that is hard. Like my relationship with surfing, I hated it. I didn't want, and that's too where you probably, I think they have harped on about this story quite a bit of like, then my coach, like Glenn at the time, he was also really good. Like he was such a strong perspective. Like he had such good perspective and always kept me, up, like just on the brighter side of life, looking up. And he grabbed me. He was like into golf and he's like, let's just go play golf. Stop trying to surf. Let's just actually stop and trust your abilities will, do it. But I literally couldn't surf. I was so in my head. I was so mistiming. I'd get to my feet and limbs would be going the opposite way to the way the wave was, it was an absolute shit show, to be honest. Like, it was terrible. And then I fully let go and I just played more golf than I surfed and just found our way back.
I was watching a clip last night in the lead up to the conversation. I think your coach said you were like completing at like less than 10% in those things. And and I think both of you might have had a conversation where it's just like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it was all around like, how do we get your mind off this? Because you're kind of in a fun, because I see this happen all the time with mates and with people who have been in the sport for a few years. It's something that they love.
Yeah.
It is something that should bring them so much happiness. But then when you put like so much pressure on yourself, or when you've had experienced like parts of failure and you're like, okay, well, I'm actually not enjoying this. This is actually bringing me a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety and thoughts of like what's coming up. And then it is so interesting to hear athletes in that stage where it's like, okay, well, how do you flip that? Like, how, what is it? Because it's a mindset, right? Like the sport
it's just
hasn't
not being able to let go.
Is that a part of it?
Yeah, or it's that feeling of like, you literally believe that if I let go, it's all over. That's why then it becomes more pressure, and then you try harder and you get more tense, and you react, like your decision making gets more like terrible.
Yeah,
everything turns to shit.
So tell me what happened. You went and played golf.
Well, then I just realized like I'm not holding on to anything anymore, because I'd held on so tight that it became nothing.
Yeah,
like I'd suffocated everything I did have. So then I was like, that's shit anyway. So okay, golf. I wasn't even like, I knew he loved it, and I knew like I was just vibing off like Glenn's froth in life. And I think it's good that's why you got to have good people around you, like to see, oh, there is good things in life. Look at him, he's psyched on his golfing, you know. So going to hang out on the course with some friends and just go play golf, and not even, I had no expectations of golf, you know, at the start anyways. But I just went out, play golf, and then when you come back, I guess, to your sport, you just have let go. So you just, no expectation, you're open to receiving. Just where are we at? It's a much more present, peaceful, calm. And I think when you're like that, then it all starts, you flow.
Do you think you needed to experience that type of loss in order to have the success that you've had?
Yeah, I believe for my personality. Because I'm someone like, you could tell me, hey, if you go and do this, it's probably going to lead to that. And I'm like, if I want to do it, I'll see. You know, like I'll happily cop the consequence to see for myself. Which, whatever. But because I just like to try. So I believe for me, 100%, that bit of adversity, all the little things along my way of adversity and challenges that have been really hard have built me to be quite strong and resilient. Like in the most part, I can hold on to something because I care and I fight for what I want, but then I can, at the end of the day, let it go and go, you know what, I tried. That's it.
Such a cool like awareness piece, hey? Because I look at everyone who I look up to, whether they're like been in a professional sporting sense when I was younger, or now they're like really incredible business people, or like in the media space, or even just good people. At the end of the day, I look at these guys and girls, and I think, well, they wouldn't have got to the level they've got to if they just had a smooth, easy life. They've been through the thick of it. There's one guy, and I'm talking about him all the time. His name's Jeff Wilson, like an incredible adventurer, has like crossed more of Antarctica than probably anyone in the world.
That's
like,
crazy.
He lives just down the road. He's an awesome dude.
What?
Yeah, we had him on the podcast.
Oh, sick.
Beautiful. Yeah, it was one of my favorite episodes.
I'm gonna have to listen.
Him and his son, Kit, who's also an adventurer and filmmaker. Anyway, regardless. But like both really lovely people. But he's been in through parts like he should be dead, like 10 to 12 different times, where like got caught in a blizzard, or he would have got caught up at like a wrong place in the wrong time with like these army crew in the middle of the desert.
Gosh.
Like these stories are gnarly. Like I think we touched on maybe 4 of them on his episode.
That's sick. He went into a few stories.
Yeah, he's so sick. Like, but I look at people like that and I was like, well, you wouldn't be where you are today if you didn't have those really gnarly moments. And so you sort of take that, and then having the awareness that when you now are in the really thick of it, like a really hard part of it, it's like, okay, well, this is actually going to make me better.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that awareness, like it kind of zooms you out of it, and it's like, it does take the pressure off a little bit, because you do have the awareness that, no, you're actually going to be better from this.
Yeah. And I feel like awareness is my biggest strength. It's also hard. Like, you probably know what it's like being so aware. it can be a distraction and like a lot overwhelming probably for like what goes on upstairs.
Yeah.
But for the most part, being super aware, just like I'm always just like unhooking myself from heaps of stuff. Like I feel myself just going, nah. Like, or I can feel myself dragging that, like, nah. I have the awareness to just keep like taking, you know what I mean? And I think like being super aware also lets the hooks come on as quick. So it balances itself out.
Interesting.
But I agree, because I think these people, like, they start off so innocent as a kid, and then you go through life. Some people, like, you just have sometimes the adversity that they go through so hard on them that they have no option to flip the script and choose a really strong perspective and have the strength to get through it.
Yeah.
And then they're through it, and then you see them, and now they're like, I think there's power in choosing the innocence, you know? Because then that's like the matured version, I think, because I'm the same. I look up to those people because it's like, wow, they've been through all of this, and now it's like even more powerful. Like their kind heart now is a chosen kind heart, which can be like scary, because I think some people are like, whoa, you know, choosing it, that means they could choose the opposite. But it's like they now have so much confidence and belief in all these things because they've like been through, they've lost it maybe, or like whatever, and now are choosing it every single day.
And everything in life is hard.
Yeah.
Choose your heart. Like,
exactly.
if you want to...
I say that so much.
You like that?
Yeah, for sure.
My friend said that to me a couple of years ago, and it's just like, if you want to go down the path of being a professional surfer or a professional rugby league player, or working your way up in a company, or getting on the tools and working 10, 12 hours a day, all of them is hard.
Yeah. Or just taking any challenge. Life is a challenge. So like pretty much you don't even have to be striving for excellence. Yeah. It's just like choose your heart.
Choose your heart. Yeah. I know. And then, but then
exactly.
Once I think like you make that decision, like it's on you. So it's like no one's telling you what to do. Like this is your kind of, this is like your kind of life that you get to design and you get to create. We're talking about like this space here where we're recording now. It's just like we're making a very conscious decision where we want to be able to train during the day, and we want to be able to have a really amazing bunch of people around us. So it's like, it's our choice.
Yeah.
Is it a little bit difficult sometimes? Of course. Trying to get something off the ground, but it is our choice.
Because it's scary. There's a risk to it. But it's like, and you can see how much you guys have like prioritized life and doing the job, you know, and having the best of both worlds. Yeah. I will say I'm really grateful, and I think everyone has actually the power and the choice to be able to do it. But I mean, both of us are in a position that we do something that like is our passion, or like we get to do something we love as a job. Yep. And I think a lot of people like, oh, you know, you're the rare one, or that's whatever. But I think in the other hand, yes, we are very lucky with our positions, but I also feel like that if surfing didn't pan out, there's other things I love. And I think I would always prioritize being like at work with a smile on my face and copying less money or whatever it is. Like I would always like be open to, okay, do I love this? Is this, you know, light a fire in me? And I'll always follow that.
It's such an interesting concept, because you hear people say that like, oh, like good for you, or like you're lucky that you're in this position, you're just extra talented, or like, oh, you got to do that. I mean, we had a podcast with Mathews last year, big wave surfer. Dude, legend. Such a good dude. Incredible story. Yeah. But he has this whole thing around like, no, you can actually do anything you want to do. Like it is completely up to you. And he pretty much like broke down this little framework about like you ask yourself why like 5 times. So he's like, okay, you want to be the world champion surfer. Okay, why do you want to do that? Oh, because I really like surfing and that's going to earn me a heap of money. Okay, why is it going to? Okay, well, if I do that, it's going to set my family up and myself, and I get to have more opportunity. Okay, why do you want to do that? And you keep going down to this thing. It's like, well, I actually want to see what I'm capable of as a human. And you get to this really specific spot in yourself of being like, okay, that's my core of why I want to do something. Yeah. And then you kind of reverse engineer it. So we talked about like big wave surfing, because that's obviously his space. And he actually said to me that one of his mates that was like 30 kind of got into big wave surfing at like later in life. Yeah. And I was kind of curious about it because I like surfing, but I was like, for me, like big wave was always something that was so unachievable because I thought you had to start it when you were really younger. And just like, no, I've got mates that start big wave. I was like, oh, I was kind of curious around that.
Keeks is going to be out Jaws next winter, just taking on the 50 footers.
Actually, I know we laugh, but it would be like my little undercover goal is like I would love to be able to surf a wave that like scares the shit out of me. that's
But it's just a challenge where you're like, okay, and then why do you want to do that? And then you say, why? Yeah.
But then you can work back from it. So I said to Maya, I was like, well, what does that look like? So have you got this big challenge? Like, how do you work back from that? And he's like, okay, well, surround yourself with some like really incredible crew around you. And we're lucky. You're staying at Whippet's place with Saf. Like, it's just like, they are incredible, like drivers of jet skis. He's like, get really comfortable on a jet ski. He's like, okay, we'll start working your way into like some 10, 20 footers. And then maybe you get to like a 30 foot and like you can get that progressive overload. You start building. And then you start doing some more like underwater training and you start working with free divers and then you're like wrestling underwater and you're working on your breath hold. So you start putting all these like you said, getting all these wins on the board to the point where you're at Jaws on a 50 foot and you're like, oh, I actually feel half comfortable here.
It's like literally everything. You start of like, I think you can break everything down to the most simple core where you think, okay, I'm actually at the bottom of the reason, and you feel that too. I feel like you actually get there where you're like, oh, I actually feel seen. Yeah. And when you feel seen on your why, then you're like, okay, I don't need to keep asking why. I get that, and then from there, it's like, okay, well, if I want to go there, then what is it? Anything to do with water, anything to do with uncomfortability, and you start just like taking opportunities that take you that way, which is like the best anchor ever for life.
I heard actually we've spoken a lot about Ben Crow. He said a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. It's like, the future belongs to those who believe in the power of their dreams.
Crowy always says these really long.
The future belongs to those who believe in the power of their dreams. So we all have dreams. We all have these like ideas, but those who actually like really believe in it, fuck, those are the ones who like will go do incredible things. Hey? And like, what's incredible
to you? What's enough? Like, it all goes around in circles. Because then, same when you break that, exactly what Crowy's like stated there with, it's in your control of like, I don't know, you can do something you love. And as much as they see our position of like, oh, you get to do that, that's like, you scored the lottery. It's like, yeah, but what's your lottery? Your lottery's out there if you believe in your dreams. Yeah. Like, if you believe, like your future,
Yeah, and I think it's really cool that you can actually learn to remove the ceilings of what we think is possible. Like, I imagine when you were young, you didn't imagine that you'd be winning a world title. But the ability to be able to take that away and understand that, no, I actually can do whatever I want to do is actually pretty special.
And that comes with time too, eh? Like, and it comes with like experiences, and I think being around people, being inspired by like bigger and better things. Yeah. Because I agree, there's definitely, everyone has a roof, because you can only go as far as you can see, kind of. Yeah. And I think the more you expand your horizon, then your roof just like grows.
Yeah, I love that. That's a clip in there, I reckon. We talked, like, I know we mentioned a lot about Crowy, Ben Crow, mindset coach. He's worked with a lot of incredible athletes. I actually have his book here.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it. Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
Where is it? Where the Light Gets In, Ben Crow, which you actually mentioned in there, which is really cool.
Was it a nice mention? Are you there yet?
Yeah, I'm not actually at that part, but I've heard him speak about it on other videos, which is actually really cool. And it ties into this part of similar themes that we've spoken about around like uncertainty. Yes. Uncertainty, we can't control the waves. We can't control how other people are reacting. We can only really control ourselves. And there was one part that he mentioned, it might have been in a video, but you created this concept, or you created this thing called the Just Admit It list. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah.
If you're feeling comfortable.
Yeah. I'm laughing too, by the way, because I swear I was like Ben's biggest headache. Because he would like come up with a concept and say, like, shine light on a perspective or, something. And then I'd say, and I would just like, but what about this? And then what about this? And like, just dig it into a rabbit hole and go, that works only for here until this happens. And I would just like be contradicting. He's just like, at the end of the day, I'm like, you got to believe something, you got to pick something and stick by it. And I was like, but you can look at life any way you want. That's where I always got stuck. And I swear he would just like scratch his head at times, just going, what? Which he actually admits, which is pretty funny. But we found a good flow. So anyways, but I think the Just Admit It list came about at the start of the year of just like, it made me realize how much I was fearful of. And it made me, I don't know, I just like, there is so much uncertainty in surfing that I was always kept a little bit like scared or maybe less willing to go all in because I was like, you don't know what's going to happen. I could do as much as surfing, like nothing is ever enough in surfing because that wave may not come or and you just can't control it. And I think I then was like, I think I was trying to stop the fears without like really addressing them. I was just like, hey, just like, no. And then for me, I work so much better if I just go, you know what, accept it. The just admit it list was like the actual like something physically like tangible that I could do to accept something rather it being in my head. Because I think there's all this talk about acceptance to move on and let go and free yourself, but I never could understand that. I could never grasp it. And the just admit it list for me was my way of accepting, where I just admit, I don't know, even if it's a symbol, I admit I don't know where the good wave is. And something like that, like is, I guess for me, I'd hold on to because I thought I had to know because I have to be on the good waves. There's no option. But if I admit it, then I just feel like, okay, like whatever. And every time I just admit something, then that worry would go away for me.
What are some other examples?
I've it changes all the time, but I'll stick on the Hawaii one. It was like, I just admit I admit I haven't caught a good wave for my preparation. I admit I'm really tired. I admit, like, just all the things where you don't feel ready, you know? I admit my boards, like, I'm not sure of my boards. I admit, like, just anything more around preparation, like, at that point. And then sometimes daily, when I feel like I'm running a little bit from life or, I don't know, just, like, uptight. Yeah. I'm just like, I admit I'm stressed that I may not catch this flight. I admit whatever. I just admit it now. Yeah. I admit that I'm scared. Like, I can now say to my competitors, like, I admit you're ripping, I'm not. Yeah. Like, I'm not threatened anymore. Like, whatever.
Does it take the pressure and, like, anxiety off when you've actually, like, kind of said it out loud or write it down that, I actually admit that I'm actually not ready for this or whatever?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it just, like, I don't know, there's so much power in just admitting it. Like, because then you take the power away because you realize that it actually doesn't matter. Yeah. And I feel like for me, I just felt like if I can see it in my head, then it's fine. But I don't know. I guess I didn't really accept it until I was like, it was like an admittance. Like I had to admit to myself. Yeah. And I could never admit it to myself because I felt like there was a perfect picture I had to strive for. Like, and I think I just felt like if I don't sit in the picture that I thought would win a comp, then I'm all over. But, yeah, I don't know. So,
tell me about how you go stepping into a competition, into a heat, when there might be other things on your mind outside of surfing. Because I imagine this is probably, like, super topical for people who are listening, whether it's, like, they're going into work or they're going into whatever event or whatever challenge that they want to go into. But life outside can be quite chaotic, whether that's with family members, partners, financial stress, like whatever their stress is. Yeah. How do you manage going into something where you have to perform and you want to win, but you have outside stresses?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's just the night before I do like a just admit it list and it stays on that piece of paper, or I just create a boundary around it. It's like I make sure, actually, I've created boundaries the night before, but it still doesn't work because you can wake up, life happens every single moment. And I now just have like a 5-minute thing before I hit the water where I just owe it to myself to go, it's just me and the ocean right now. Like whatever happens for this next 30 minutes, enjoy it because life can't get me out there. And I think now I always take the 5 minutes before I paddle out of whatever has happened, even if I've rushed and I have the wrong board, whatever, I'm here on the beach with whatever board, all good. From this moment forwards, we are all good.
That's so
like,
sick.
This is going to be, no matter what, like, I'm just me in the ocean and competing. And I make sure I have the 5 minutes because sometimes it takes a minute to go, I'm letting go of nothing. So it maybe takes 30 seconds. Sometimes I'm sitting there going, well, I feel like I'm in a rush because I was late to my prep and I didn't time it that well. And sometimes I take 5 to 8 minutes. But for the most part, I take the moment of going, this stays here. And it's not that, it's just because I owe to myself to enjoy this next 30 minutes. Like, I love competing and I want to win. Yeah. It's that simple. Yeah. I love that. Like, let yourself do it.
Do you find you have a busy mind?
Yeah,
Do you have a busy mind?
Definitely.
How do you I'm with you. I'm very much aligned
Yeah.
to that as
I
well.
think a lot of people that are like somewhat emotionally like aware, they've got a busy mind.
How do you rest your mind, or how do you like calm your mind when it is like so go go go?
Yeah, I mean, you probably feel it. We do so much that I can feel the tabs just opening in my brain.
Yeah.
And I know when I'm like, oh my God, I have like every tab open right now. Like I'm maxed out.
Yeah.
And I think I've got to like, I write what all the tabs, if there's too many in my head, I just make sure like, okay, I've got to do, it's more just to-do
Like a
list.
dump, like almost like
Yeah,
a brain
exactly.
dump.
I just brain dump. And then I also schedule like, okay, these are the things I'll let be open in my tab, because I don't like want everything gone, because I still have a day to live or a moment to do. So I just like pick and choose which ones I'm going to keep for this moment if it feels too much.
Yeah, I really love that, because I'm obviously like starting to think a little bit more deeply about this stuff, and I'm like, well, brain's so like go go go. I was like, well, why is that the case? Is it because we're like constantly striving to do something really great or something really cool, or you want to be the best that you can be at this one thing? And I wonder about that. And then I heard this thing. I was actually in a very Zen yoga flow one time. We're just doing yoga, and the yoga teacher said this thing where it was just like, the pace of nature is slow, but everything gets done. Yeah. So picture like you look around, like the most beautiful forests, the most beautiful like bits of nature, a beautiful 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 50-year-old tree. Yeah. It's like that doesn't become this big, beautiful thing overnight. Like it takes time. And so when you look at it from our point of view, it's just like, okay, well, anything that we want to do that's really great doesn't happen overnight. Yeah. It takes time. Yeah. The pace of nature is slow, but everything gets done. And so you look at that and I was like, well, why am I in such a fucking rush all the time?
It's so true. And it is cool actually how, like, you know, when something actually sinks in and you feel so seen, like you can tell the way you're speaking about it, how like it just like explained and sat so well with you of like, you're like, that really resonated when nature moves slow. Like it 100%. Takes its time. It's in no rush. Yeah. But I will say, like, it's a full thing that you, like, I don't know if it's being young or high striving or what it is, but like that feeling of wanting, like, I feel in a rush always. Yeah. Like, and then it's taken so long to like, I guess honestly, I feel like I didn't get the results, or like I wasn't surfing how I'd want to as quick as like it took enough time that I wore thin and was like, I eventually just threw my hands in the air and was like, you know what? Yeah. This is going to take time. But I felt like for 8 years of my life, like 8 years ago, I feel like I've been in a rush for going, and I eventually just like, well, I think you wear thin and go, you know what? This is actually, life's taking, like, it takes time. So then finally I'm like, I'm not in a rush. So what does that look like for this year? Where does focus go for this year coming up? Is it a thought of like going back to back? Is that come into your mind? Yeah. Like, I don't want to not being in a rush means I don't want to put words in your mouth. Yeah, no, for sure. I even though I'm not in a rush, I still want to achieve big things, you know. And I think definitely I guess I'm grasping right now, which is so weird because I'm technically still early on in my career, but obviously as a female, we have like a biological, like I'd love to have a family and things one day, and I am fortunate enough to be surfing right now, and I'm just like, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to be doing this for 5-10 years, but I doubt I'll be in it any longer than 10 years. I don't know, because I like more than happy will, you know, have a family one day and be that kind of transition to life. So I'm like, I have 5 to 10 years to make the absolute most of this. And I have like, I am really curious of like how good I can get for my body and me in the water, on the surfboard. So like I'm head down and just want to see what I can do with that. Has anyone come back after having a kid? Yeah, they actually are now. That's true. Carissa and Tati, Joanne, like there's a few surfers that are definitely doing that, and they will like it once you've got the surfing kind of thing. I think you're sorted, and I reckon they'll be fine. It's not like a big deal. I don't think a huge deal to be a mum, but as in like your body changing and stuff. Yeah, surfing you can just find new ways and. You'll still get scores, and that's all you need. But for me, I don't know if that would interest me coming back. Yeah. Because like I said before, those two different personalities, I think at heart I'm truly selfless, and this like being selfish for 15 years, I'll be over it.
Yeah.
Like unless my family were like, we want to come, then I'd be like, all right, I'm doing it for you guys. But other than that,
Imagine you
I'm all
coming in
good.
from a heat and you got your little grums just out there, like
That would be
looking
so
at Mum.
funny.
That would be
Yeah.
so cool, hey?
Yeah. I mean, if that's kind of the vibe, then I'll do it, you know. But for me, I feel like when I transition, I'll happily put myself and my goals, not like those, like just my professional goals down.
Yeah.
Happily, like I'd love to give it to someone else.
Yeah. Do you think about what type of mum you want to be?
Yeah, I've like thought of that sort of thing because I think like when I think of kids, it's a good like my kids, it's a good way to like for partners and things like who would I want to be around my kids?
Sure.
And like I don't know, that stuff like is good, like a good I don't know anchor maybe or direction.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hopeless though, so I haven't been successful, but nah, I think I just hope I'm super loved. Like I just want to be soft, and I think like it worries me a little bit because I'm absolutely not right now, and that's why I just feel like I wouldn't want to do.
Sure.
Like I wouldn't want a kid brought into the environment I'm in now because I'm just like me, better, critical.
Sure.
It's like I don't want to be critical. Like the kids, I really believe that they live and learn themselves. I'd be like, go. I mean. How do you think? How would you love to raise kids?
Well, we'll just talk about it because this episode will probably go live after we announce like the fact that we got a little bubble.
Which is so crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
It's so nuts. For you, of like raising, what's the kind of dad that you'd love to be?
Yeah, I don't like. To be honest, like it was such a shock, but now the fact that me and my partner are like very much like so excited for it, and I've always wanted to be a dad. Like, I honestly feel like I've been put on this earth to be a dad.
Yeah,
like,
well, I feel like you're you're
a dad.
Yeah, no, as in like any kid. Yeah, you're like your kid is stoked.
Well, I feel like. And to be honest, it's so weird because and I'm keen to get your thoughts on the way you look at it because it feels like everything that I've been doing with like footy or trying to build a career or success or whatever the thing is, has been for looking after my kids. So they're in a really safe and like nurturing and like loved environment.
Yeah.
Being a dad, like I feel like I just want to be like super playful with them.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to create an environment that just like fosters them being able to succeed.
Yeah.
And success for them looks for like having like a really loved like group around them, having like really beautiful role models. So all of my mates that I knock around with, I look at them to being like incredible dads. Like they're not only the most beautiful people, like their values are so, but they're also like really hard workers. They love training. They got that dog in them. They're very typical like masculine
get
males,
after it,
but then they've got that really beautiful soft side. Like we tell our mates we love them all the time.
How good's that when you reach that part of life? One of my friends actually recently said only the last year I actually started to realize like I actually love whoever it is, if it's that friend or and I think our parents and like it's the generation that love you, you know, like there's not much thought into it but like when you actually I actually like we love certain types of people and
100%.
And it's true and it's so cool to hear. For me, I think the playful thing again, same. I value that for everyone. Yeah. And then especially my kids if I am lucky enough to have them. But I also would love to work really hard to put myself in a position that I can be 100% present. Yeah. Like I would love. And my ideal, like, dream big, kid, so I will right now, but, like, I would love to have like, my partner, like, he, I don't know, has been able to be successful enough that we can both be present. Cool. And, like, I don't know, the whole stay-at-home mum thing, I actually have been able to really appreciate it as I've grown up and understood the roles and things, and I love that because we are very, like, motherly and loving and giving and nurture, like, whatever it is. But I don't want to do it by myself. Like if I've married someone or like had a kid with someone, I want you to have the impact on my kid too. You know, I don't want to be left with them because as much as I try and have my own back, but I don't love myself that much that I want my kid to be like me. You know what I mean? I think yes, I have good traits, but for the most part, like I would be with someone that like I want my kid, like I want you to influence my kid.
It's like you complement each other, right? Like, and you're in a space where you can spend time. I think that's why we're probably both like been working so hard for the last however many years. So when the bub comes, you can be like, oh, actually, I do want to be able to take them surfing in the morning.
Yeah, yeah,
or I
yeah.
want to be able to do school like drop off.
Yep.
Or like even be here, like we actually work where we live. So if we do need to bounce upstairs and like
Yeah,
take the
yeah.
bub, we can. So these are all like
Yeah.
super topical things. So I love the way you're thinking about it. I think that's like really, really beautiful.
I would love to. It's actually, and then it's so funny because when you realize there's an end to something,
Yeah.
it gives you fire.
Man.
Because you're like, 5-10 years, like, let's go. You know
100%.
what I mean?
And
Not saying like I'm going to have kids in 5-10 years, but the surfing thing, I only want to be selfish max for another 10 years.
Yeah,
I'm like over it.
But it does.
Like, as in over being selfish.
I do think it does light a fire in you though.
Yeah, because you're like, it's the time is now.
On both sides before you have kids, because you're like, I do have like a time frame of where I want to get to.
Yeah.
But then it's interesting, like when we found out that we had a kid coming, like there is nothing that I think will give you more energy and drive and will make you grow spiritually, career-wise, financially as a person than finding out that your partner's pregnant.
Yeah,
I have never worked harder than since I found
like
out.
the provider in you just went, boom.
I thought I worked hard.
I need to provide.
I thought I worked hard.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, I would say I have a.
I would have said, but you reckon you've stepped it up.
I reckon I've
since.
got a whole nother level. And there's like. And
Does everyone else agree or what?
probably not. They're probably like, he doesn't do anything.
But yeah, in general, you're like.
But I don't know if it is that. I think it is a little bit of that pressure of like, okay, another being is coming to this world that you have to provide for.
And protect, yeah.
And protect.
Yeah.
And it's on you. And like all the things that we said before about
Yeah.
like creating a really beautiful environment for them.
Yep.
It's just like, okay, well, are we there yet? Like, do we have the things
That
that
stress,
we need?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
think it is partly the stress of like wanting to give them everything,
Yeah.
and maybe realizing that you're not quite there yet, so you overworked. But then there's the stress of like, okay, you really want to work hard, but then you also want to be there for your partner who's going
Yeah.
through all the emotions of being pregnant as well. You know?
Yeah, which is it's great, and I think like it's a balance. Like you
Yeah.
can't just do one or the other. It's a beautiful balance.
It is a beautiful
I mean, you have such a like great partner that you guys will.
Yeah.
You know, you like communicate and just like tango until you both
Yeah.
find the sweet spot. And then you're like, Bub's happy, you guys are happy, work's ticking along,
Yeah, I tell
life
you
is
what,
good.
I can't wait to redo a podcast with you in like 10, 15 years
Imagine
time.
I got like, or even when your bub comes.
We'll go play pickleball with the little bubs.
Imagine.
That'd be-
Yours will be like a pro by the time I'm having kids,
God,
but
mate,
still.
you've got the natural talent. I was
No.
hanging on for dear life this morning. Molly, hey,
So fun.
thanks so much for this morning.
It was sick. So fun to hang out.
Honestly, like I think it was really cool. Like not only like obviously play a bit of pickleball, but like really get to know you. And I knew that you had this like really fun, like playful nature. But even just like the way you show up on the podcast, and even like the way you show up for your friends, like I think it is such a testament to who you are. And I think it is really inspiring that you are now like the role model that like younger Groms are looking up to.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
That's so sweet. Thanks, Keeks. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for having me on. And sick. You're a legend, man. It's so sick. And I've been seriously a fan of the podcast, and I'm so honored
That's
to be
so
here.
cool. I thought you were talking shit at the start. You're like, yeah, I've listened to a few podcasts. I was like, yeah, which ones? So you're like, no, I actually listened to A, B, and C. I was like, oh, okay, you actually have listened to a few.
You did nail me. I was like,
buzzed ya. I did
yeah.
buzz ya.
But I'd been watching for sure. And it's like, it's just cool when you meet people that you like, you're on the same sort of frequency of life, and
Yeah.
it's sick.
Well, I think it's cool, like even like having like these types of conversations, because you can't really bullshit someone for like an hour or a 2 hour, couple hour conversation. It's like
True colours shine through after like 30 minutes, hey, for sure.
100%. So very grateful. And good luck for this year.
And good luck for your next chapter, mate. Are you kidding me?
Thank you very much.
It's exciting.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.